Olive is an ostrich. She lives with her family in the outback. But Olive is very different. Olive's dad loves to run. Olive isn't a fast runner. Olive's mum enjoys laying huge eggs. Olive doesn't like the look of that at all. Olive's little brother pecks at the ground to find tasty roots to eat. Pecking at the ground makes Olive sneeze. But Olive has an incredible imagination. So while the rest of her family are running, pecking and laying eggs, Olive can be found imagining herself going on amazing adventures when she buries her head down, down into the sand. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive was in a street full of shops. It was raining heavily and she was getting very wet. She was outside a shop with a big glass window. Olive looked through the window and could see lots of people sitting in chairs.
Maybe I could dry off in there,
said Olive. So she opened the door and went in. It was a very fancy place and smelt of perfume.
Hello there, I'm Olive.
Hiya, I'm Mickey Meerkat,
said a little meerkat.
Welcome to me beauty parlour.
Oh, a beauty parlour.
What would you like, Olive? A shampoo, a pedicure?
Pedicure? What's that?
It's a beauty treatment that'll give you the prettiest feet ever.
Olive looked down at her feet. They were a little bit scruffy.
Oh, a pedicure, yes please.
This way,
said Mickey. As she followed Mickey, Olive saw a pink poodle with curlers and an elephant with cucumber slices over her eyes.
Egg. I thought cucumber was for sandwiches.
Take a seat and pop your feet in here,
said Mickey, putting a bowl of soapy, bubbly water in front of Olive. Suddenly, there was a loud scream from behind some fancy curtains.
Oh!
The scream made Olive jump and she landed with a big splash in the bowl of water.
Egg. What was that?
Mrs. Higginbottom,
shouted Mickey. As they pulled back the curtains, Olive saw a very large hippopotamus sitting in a bath full of mud. The mud was completely dry and the hippo was stuck fast.
This is outrageous. I can't move,
wailed Mrs. Higginbottom.
Calm down, calm down. The timer hasn't gone off and the mud's dried. Oh, we'll have to find a way to get you out.
Hello, I'm Olive. Let me try something.
Olive pecked at the mud, but it was rock hard.
Oh, Olive, please help. I have a party to go to.
Olive saw it was still raining heavily outside.
Dried mud? Rain? I think I may have an idea. Mickey, help me push the bath outside.
Outside?
Chorused Mickey and Mrs. Higginbottom.
Just wait and see.
Mickey and Olive used all their strength to push Mrs. Higginbottom into the rainy street.
What now, Olive?
Just watch.
The rain made the mud soft and squidgy. Mrs. Higginbottom lifted one foot out of the bath and then another. Soon she was jumping up and down.
Oh, thank you, I'm free. Calm down. We don't want an accident.
And Mrs. Higginbottom was so happy, she jumped in the air and landed with a giant splash. Olive and Mickey were covered from head to toe in mud.
Oh, dear, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't help myself. We hippos just love mud.
Egg. Actually, I quite like getting covered in mud too.
Yeah, it's not so bad at all,
chuckled Mickey. Mrs. Higginbottom started laughing too, and they all danced together in the rain until the mud washed off.
Thank you, Olive. That's the best mud bath I've ever had. But now I must get to my party. Sorry you didn't get your pedicure, Olive, but at least you had a mud bath.
Oh.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again,
said her mum.
Egg. Actually, I had a lovely mud bath at the beauty parlour.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear,
said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing in a huge room with large pictures on the walls and big, oddly shaped objects all over the place.
Oh, what a colourful place!
Suddenly, Olive heard a voice.
Where did I put them?
One of the objects began to move. It was a seagull. It wore a beret and was waving around a paintbrush. Olive jumped.
I didn't notice you back there. I'm Olive.
Greetings. I'm Vincent van Gogh, famous artist and sculptor. This is my gallery, and these are my paintings and sculptures. You like them, yes?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Exclaimed Olive.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very talented, it's true. But I just need to paint one more painting on this blank canvas for my big exhibition. Problem is, I can't find my tubes of paint. God!
Then Olive noticed something shining on one of the sculptures.
A telescope? I think I may have an idea.
Olive looked through the telescope for clues, and on the floor she spotted some drips of paint. She followed the trail of paint over to a sculpture of a man having a good old think.
Here's one.
Said Olive, throwing it down to Vincent.
My green paint!
Here's another.
My yellow paint!
Olive continued to follow the trail, finding Vincent's tubes of paint in all sorts of interesting places. She found Vincent's blue paint, his orange paint, and his purple paint. Vincent was very pleased.
Oh, yes, I must have left my paints in my great works of art as I was creating them. Well spotted, Olive. You have the eye of a great artist.
Thanks very much.
But where is my lucky color? Red.
Hey, I think I see it.
Olive had spotted it at the very top of the tallest sculpture in the room.
How are we going to reach that?
Don't worry, Vincent. I'll get it.
Olive jumped up on the sculpture and started to climb. She reached out and just managed to knock the paint down to Vincent.
Well done, Olive.
He exclaimed.
Now I have all my paints.
As Olive cheered, she lost her balance. Olive landed on top of Vincent, who dropped his tubes of paint, which squirted all over Olive as they hit the ground. Cried Olive as she stumbled backwards, covered in paint, and fell onto the blank canvas.
Oh, no. Are you all right, Olive?
I'm okay, but I think I've ruined your canvas.
But when Olive pulled herself away from the canvas, on it was an amazing multicoloured painting of Olive.
It's spectacular!
Exclaimed Vincent.
It's a masterpiece, the best in my big exhibition.
Hey, I've always wanted to be in a painting.
Giggled Olive. They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay. Actually, I had a painting in an art exhibition.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing in the middle of a large field with white lines painted on it. There was a net across the middle. She was wearing a little white skirt and a sun visor. Close by, two very tired-looking giraffes sat on a bench. Olive was about to walk over and talk to the giraffes when all of a sudden a ball went flying past her head, followed by another and another.
Oh, please stop. You're going to hit me.
Sorry, man, I didn't see you there.
Olive saw a curly-haired toad wearing white shorts and holding a racket.
I'm John McIntoad, and I'm trying to train for an important match, but my training partners Virginia and Wade are too tired to play.
Oh, I'm Olive. If Virginia and Wade are too tired, maybe I can help you train.
Well, sure. Do you play tennis?
I don't even know what tennis is.
You cannot be serious. This is a tennis court. This is my tennis racket. Surely everyone knows what tennis is.
I'm afraid not. Will you teach me?
Sure, I guess I could. First you need a racket like mine. It's what you use to hit the ball.
John gave Olive a lovely pink racket from his bag.
Now you go down to that end, and when I hit the tennis ball over the net to you, you try and hit it back, okay?
Olive swung her racket a couple of times to get ready. John threw the ball high above his head and hit it over the net. It was going so fast, Olive couldn't reach it in time. John tried again and again, but each time he hit the ball so hard that Olive couldn't hit it back. Then John smashed the ball really hard. It whizzed over the net and hit Olive right on the wing, making her spin around. Into the net, feathers flying everywhere.
Egg! I've broken the net!
Exclaimed Olive. John McIntoad ran over and stuck a long strip of sticky plaster on Olive's wing.
Don't worry about the net. I hope I haven't hurt you, Olive.
Oh no, I'm fine, John. But I'm afraid I haven't given you much tennis practice.
Olive looked around and suddenly thought of something.
Some feathers. A ball? Some sticky plasters? I think I may have an idea.
Olive picked up one of the balls and carefully started to stick feathers to the ball with the sticky plasters. Next, she asked Virginia and Wade to hold up the net.
Oh, that's a bit higher than before.
Once the net was in position, John tossed the feather-covered ball above his head and hit it over the net. With the feathers on it, the ball was now going slower and Olive could reach it. She hit the ball back this time to John.
This is what we call a rally,
said John, hitting the ball back to Olive. Olive and John hit the ball back and forth, high and low, fast and slow. They played the tennis rally all afternoon until eventually John hit the ball too low and it landed in the net.
Ugh, I think that's enough practice for one day,
said John, breathing heavily and looking exhausted.
Thanks for the game, although I'm not sure I'm really very good at tennis.
Well, you were amazing at featherball. You've invented a whole new game.
Heck, have I? Oh, let's hope it doesn't catch on. I don't want to lose any more feathers.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I invented a new game called Featherball.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. She could hear some tinkly music. It was coming from a little white van that was parked nearby, and Olive could see all sorts of things inside the van.
Oh, those look tasty.
Exclaimed Olive. Olive was wearing a white overall and a special paper hat. She could hear strange grunts coming from inside the van.
Hello? Are you all right?
Asked Olive, and she reached in through the window to help. Up popped a very cold lady.
Thanks.
Shivered the lady.
I'm Millie Vanilla.
I'm Olive. Pleased to meet you. Oh, you're cold. You need to warm up.
Oh no, if I do that, my ice cream will melt, and I need it for a birthday party.
Ice cream?
Yes, it's a very tasty treat, and I don't want to boast, but my ice cream is the very best.
She reached into the freezer and scooped some ice cream into a cornet for Olive to taste.
I add a secret ingredient.
Whispered Millie, and she stuck a stick of chocolate on top. Olive licked the ice cream.
It's very tasty.
Like I said, the very best. Now I mustn't be late for the party. Would you like to help me?
Oh, yes, please.
Olive jumped into the van and they drove off. They were nearly there when Olive heard a bang. The van stopped with such a bump that all the chocolate sticks fell out of the window. Olive and Millie got out to see what was wrong. One of the tyres was completely flat.
All the air's leaked out.
But Millie was more worried about the big brown puddle on the ground.
What's worse, all my chocolate sticks have melted in the sun. What am I going to do?
At least we still have the ice cream.
But how can I get to the party with a hole in my tyre?
Olive looked through the ice cream van window and saw the cornets and cherries.
Cornets? Cherries? I think I may have an idea.
She bit the end off a cornet and stuck it in the hole in the tyre. Then she scooped up the melted chocolate and poured it in through the hole. When the tyre was full, Olive plugged the hole with a cherry.
Oh, good as new. Thanks, Olive.
And so, with the tyre fixed, they drove to the party. The children cheered as Olive and Millie handed out ice cream cornets, but the birthday boy looked puzzled.
Where's my chocolate stick?
He asked. Millie began to sniffle.
He only likes ice cream with a chocolate stick stuck in it.
Well, never mind.
Olive told the boy.
This is the very best ice cream.
Not without the chocolate stick, it isn't.
He noticed the mended tyre.
Hey, if I can't have a chocolate stick, can I have that cherry?
Oh, not that one.
Cried Olive. But before Olive could stop him, the boy pulled the cherry out of the tyre. Chocolate sprayed out of the hole, splashing everyone and everything.
Oh, no.
Said Olive. But then she heard the birthday boy laughing.
Hey, this chocolate tastes amazing. In fact, this is the very best chocolate in the world.
Surprised, Olive and Millie tasted their ice creams. Yum!
Yum.
I don't want to boast, but he's right.
Boasted Millie.
Which makes this the very best ice cream in the world.
Everyone laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I made the very best ice cream in the world.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing next to a bubbling waterfall. She was wearing heavy chainmail and a knight's helmet.
Oh.
Just then, Olive heard a loud noise.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Out of nowhere leapt a huge dragon wearing an orange headband. He swished his enormous tail this way and that. It was all very impressive.
Welcome.
I'm Olive. Who are you?
I am Claude Van Doom, student of Dragon Fu.
What's dragon flu?
I will show you.
With this, Claude showed Olive some of his best dragon fu moves.
Very good flu, Claude.
I hope my examiner agrees. I am taking the final part of my Dragon Fu exam today. If I pass, my dream to become a Dragon Fu master will come true.
What do you have to do?
I will show you.
With this, Claude took a deep breath and blew as hard as he could towards a nearby tree. Flames shot from his mouth and set the tree on fire in an instant. Whoosh!
The exam subject is an impressive display of fire breathing.
I think you should put that fire out, Claude.
Olive saw the bubbling waterfall behind her.
Quick, Claude. Use the water to put out the fire.
Claude plunged his head into the bubbling water, quickly gulping it down before blowing the lot onto the flaming tree.
Well done, Claude. You put the fire out.
But Claude didn't look very happy. Claude tried to breathe fire, but bubbles poured out from his mouth instead.
Oh, this is a disaster. How will I pass my exam in fire breathing if I am breathing bubbles?
Olive thought. She looked down at her chainmail and plucked one of the wires free.
A wire? Bubbles? I think I may have an idea.
Olive started to pull and twist the wires into different shapes, just as Claude's examiner arrived to start the test.
So, Mr. Van Doom, I hope you're ready to impress me with your fire breathing.
Claude looked at Olive and gulped.
Yes, he is, Mr. Examiner.
I'll be the judge of that, thank you.
The examiner watched as Claude took a deep breath and started to blow bubbles from his mouth instead of fire.
Oh, dear.
Said the examiner, unimpressed.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
But then the bubbles squeezed through the wire shapes Olive had made and formed a huge spider and nice even an elephant.
Well, I need something more impressive than that.
Claude took a deep breath and blew a massive bubble right at the examiner. It surrounded him, and before he knew it, he was floating up in the air inside the bubble.
Oh, I'm floating. Oh, Claude, your display of bubble breathing is more impressive than any fire breathing. Here's your certificate.
Oh, Claude, you passed.
Thank you, Olive, for all your help. With a little practice, you too could master Dragon Fall.
Really?
With this, Olive Dragon Fu chopped a tree, sending lots of fruit falling down on top of her.
Ouch! No, I think I'll stick to looking at trees, not dragon fooing them.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I've been blowing bubbles with a dragon.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was in a small, dimly lit room. In front of her were lots of buttons and levers and colourful flashing lights.
Where am I?
Some lights shone out over a beautiful underwater world outside the window.
Gag, what a view!
There were hundreds and hundreds of fish swimming around in front of an enormous blue canyon.
Oh, I'm in a submarine deep in the ocean. I can't wait to explore.
Olive pushed a big red lever marked forward, and the submarine dived deep down into the canyon. Olive spotted the opening to a cave.
Interesting.
Said Olive as she drove her submarine right into the cave.
It's even darker in here than it was before.
Olive drove through a big patch of seaweed.
Oh no, now I can't see where I'm going.
The seaweed suddenly came to life and picked up the submarine.
Ow.
Then in the headlights loomed the big green face of an octopus.
Hello.
Bubbled the octopus.
Gag, who are you?
My name's Jonah. I've been trapped inside this whale for days. It's so good to finally meet someone new.
My name's Olive. But what do you mean trapped inside the whale? I just drove into a cave.
Oh no, that was a huge whale's mouth you drove into, Olive. And now he's closed it shut. There's no escape.
But Gag, that doesn't sound good. We need to make the whale open his mouth again. Maybe I could turn my engines all the way up, and then the bubbles will make the whale cough. Then we can escape when he opens his mouth.
Olive turned the submarine's engines onto full power, and the water started to bubble up.
Oh, that didn't work.
But then the bubbles Olive had made tickled Jonah on the tummy.
Oh, those bubbles tickle.
An octopus with 8 legs. Tickling? I think I may have an idea. Jonah, if you use all your legs, you can tickle the inside of the whale's stomach and make him laugh. Then we can escape through his mouth.
Oh, I think that might just work.
He stretched out his 8 long arms and began to tickle the whale's tummy.
Tickle harder! Tickle harder!
Cried Olive. Jonah tickled as fast as he could. A wall of bubbles started rushing down the tunnel towards Olive and Jonah.
Watch out!
Gag! What's happening?
I think we might be going out of the top.
The top?
Olive and Jonah were fired out of the whale's blowhole, up high in the sky. Then they started to fall back towards the water.
Wow!
Jonah clung to Olive's submarine with his 8 tentacles as they fell. His body inflated like a parachute, drifting them both gently down to the surface of the water.
Well, that was a lovely, gentle landing.
Oh, thanks so much, Olive. I'm free at last.
That's okay. I think we've all had a whale of a time.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I've been helping an octopus escape a whale.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was in a room full of lots and lots of colourful clothes hanging on long rails.
Oh, hey, look at all these beautiful clothes.
Suddenly, whoosh, a ball of screwed-up paper flew past Olive. Olive poked her head around one of the rails of clothes and saw a pink poodle sat at a desk, scribbling furiously.
No. I just can't get this design right.
Cried the pooch. She screwed up another piece of paper and threw it.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm Olive. What are you trying to design?
I'm Dogatella, famous fashion designer, darling. Tonight is the biggest catwalk show in Paris Fashion Week, and I'm meant to be showing off my amazing new designer dress.
So what's stopping you?
I've completely run out of ideas. I don't suppose you could help me, darling.
Well, I'm no fashion designer, but maybe I can help.
Olive looked around and saw balls of screwed-up paper
Ooh.
everywhere.
What are all these screwed-up balls of paper, Dogatella?
Those are some of my rejected fashion designs. No good.
Lots of fashion designs, lots of clothes. I think I may have an idea.
Olive collected all the screwed-up fashion designs and selected the best bits from each one. Then she took Dogatella's scissors and cut out all her favourite pieces.
If I use all the best bits from each design, we should end up with an amazing designer dress.
That just might work, darling.
Dogatella helped Olive stick all the bits together. And when they'd finished, they set about making the dress using various pieces of clothing from the rails. Dogatella cut and stitched them all together, adding lots of shiny buttons and sparkly sequins.
Finished.
It's certainly an interesting design.
They finished with just enough time for Olive to try the outfit on before the big Paris catwalk show. Dogatella helped Olive put on the dress. But there was one small problem.
Okay, who turned out the lights?
Oh no, I was in such a rush to finish the designer dress. I forgot to make a neck hole.
Olive stumbled around the dressing room, bumping into the rails of clothes.
I can't see.
Clothes kept falling off their hangers onto Olive. She collected 5 jumpers, 3 dresses, 4 pairs of trousers, and even a few pairs of shoes before accidentally stumbling out onto the catwalk. The crowd gasped.
What's going on?
Called Olive as she desperately tried to find a hole to poke her head out. Then there was a loud ripping sound, and Olive's head popped out. The crowd went wild. Dogatella addressed the crowd.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, why put on just the one item from your wardrobe when you can wear everything at once? I present to you the Olive range.
All the people in the crowd started putting on more and more layers of clothes. There was a woman with 8 jumpers, another with 6 hats, and a man with 14 pairs of trousers.
Olive, you've started a whole new fashion trend. You're a fashion sensation, darling.
Well, that's just completely sensational, darling.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Kirk, actually, I've been a designer with Dogatella.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing in the middle of a huge cornfield and had a piece of straw in her beak.
Okay.
Said Olive, spitting it out.
Hey, I must be in the country.
Who are?
Said a voice. Olive turned around to see a man made completely out of straw.
Hello there, I'm Scully the Scarecrow.
Hello, I'm Olive. What are you doing all alone in the middle of this cornfield?
I'm here to scare off all the birds so they don't eat the corn.
Said Scully sadly.
Why are you so sad about it? Looks to me like you're doing an excellent job.
Problem is, I love to spot birds and write them down in my notebook here. But because I'm a scarecrow, I scare them all away so I never spot any.
But I'm a bird. I'm an ostrich. And I don't think you're scary, Scully.
Oh, so you are. Well, I've not spotted an ostrich before. I'd love to spot some other birds too. If I could spot 10 more today, I'd be such a happy scarecrow.
The birds are scared off when they see you, Scully. So we need to hide you from the birds in some way.
Olive looked around her. There were lots of pieces of corn lying on the ground.
Lots of corn, a scarecrow to hide. I think I may have an idea.
Olive gathered up all the corn and started sticking it all over Scully and also all over her own feathers until they were both completely covered in corn.
How's this going to help me spot birds?
Scully asked.
Watch and see.
Olive and Scully walked across the cornfield until they reached a large oak tree. A little blue bird flew down and landed on one of the branches.
Oh, our blue tit!
Exclaimed Scully, writing it down in his notebook.
One bird spotted.
Said Olive.
You see, it's working. The blue tit wasn't scared of you.
This is great.
Olive and Scully walked past a hedge at the side of the field. Two birds flew down and landed on the hedge.
That's a robin and that's a blackbird.
Said Scully, writing them down too.
2 and 3 birds spotted.
As they walked down the path, they reached a farmer's tractor sitting in the field. 3 birds flew down and landed on the tractor.
Chaffinch, sparrow, pigeon.
Cried Scully as he wrote.
4, 5, 6 birds spotted.
Then they walked down past the barn, and as they did, 4 more birds landed on the barn's roof right above them.
Crow, jackdaw, dove, magpie.
Said Scully, scribbling in his notebook.
7, 8, 9, 10 birds spotted.
Cried Olive.
Oh, thanks, Olive. With this corn disguise, I've managed to spot 10 birds today.
Olive and Scully walked back into the middle of the cornfield. But something very odd was happening. All the birds Scully had spotted were flying around above them. Then they all landed on Olive and Scully and began to eat the corn.
No, they're eating our disguises.
Soon the hungry birds had eaten away all the corn.
I suppose you're going to get scared and fly away now.
But the birds didn't move.
We're not scared of you anymore. You've given us all this nice corn to eat, so we know you're friendly.
Chirped the little robin.
Oh, now I can spot birds all day, every day.
Maybe you should call yourself Scully, but not Scarecrow.
Chuckled Olive. They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Actually, I've been helping a scarecrow spot birds.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing by a stage in a television studio with a cheering audience. She was wearing a pink skirt and top. On stage, 2 flamingos were dancing and singing.
Yeah, 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 we'll give you a wink. We're the super scarecrows and we like to wear pink. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Olive could see 3 judges. One of them was a big bull wearing a dark suit. His name was Mooman Cowbell.
Super Feathers, that was a terrible performance. Absolutely awful.
The crowd began to boo. Super Feathers did not look happy.
You sounded okay, but the other one, my pet cat has a better singing voice.
Oh, he's not a very nice bull.
If you've got any chance of winning the wow factor, you Super Feathers need to shape up before your final performance.
Maybe I can help.
Thought Olive, and followed the girls as they went backstage.
Yoo-hoo! Can I come in? My name's Olive.
Yeah, all right there. My name's Stacey and this is Tracy. How's it going, Olive?
Oh, Tracy, what's wrong with your voice?
Got this cold, haven't I? I can hardly speak, let alone sing. That's why we gave such a terrible performance. Yeah, it's the finals soon. We're never going to win with Tracy sounding so rough.
Olive looked down and saw that she was wearing the same pink costume as Tracy and Stacey.
My pink costume? Your pink costumes? I think I may have an idea. I could join Super Feathers and sing instead of you, Tracy. I'd fit right in. I'm a very good singer.
Great idea, but you'll need to learn our dance routine and song super fast.
Stacey and Tracy got to work teaching Olive the song and the dance routine. It was hard work, and Olive had to learn it really quickly. Very soon there was a knock on the dressing room door.
Super Feathers, you're on stage in 2 minutes, darlings.
OK, you ready, Olive?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Olive and Superfeathers began their performance.
Yeah, 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 we'll give you a wink. We're the super feather girls and we like to wear pink.
At first, it was going really well. Olive sang with Stacy and Tracy mimed along to the words. But as Olive danced, she got so carried away singing the song that she went in the wrong direction and she danced right off the front of the stage. Olive went flying and landed sitting in Moo Man Cowbell's lap. He looked completely shocked. But Olive carried on and managed to finish the song.
Yeah, 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 we'll give you a wink. We're the super feather girls and we like to wear pink.
That was an utterly, completely, totally amazing performance. No one's had the courage to jump in my lap before. Super Feathers, you are this year's Wow Factor winners.
Thanks, Olive. You really saved the day. Yay, we're all going to be super famous.
Oh, I don't know if I'm cut out for fame, but I think you girls are going to be super feathers superstars.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I helped the super feathers win Wow Factor.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was in a sitting room and there was a lady on the telephone. She was wearing a long white dress.
Oh, no!
Cried the lady as she put down the phone.
Hello, I'm Olive. Are you okay?
Oh, hello. I'm Sheena. I'm supposed to be getting married today, but everything's going wrong.
Sheena took out a hanky and dabbed her eyes.
My friend has caught the flu, so she can't be my bridesmaid.
Oh, what's a bridesmaid?
Well, I'm the bride, and the bridesmaid's a friend who also wears a nice frock and should be helping me today.
Oh, I see.
A little dog raced into the room, dragging a long white veil.
Oh, no. Come back with me veil, Ralphie. Hold these rings, please, Olive. We'll need them during the wedding. The man I'm marrying forgot them.
Sheena handed Olive 2 gold rings.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Naughty Ralphie, come back.
Shouted Sheena as she chased after the dog. Just then, the doorbell rang. Olive popped the rings down on the table and opened the door. On the doorstep was a box of colourful vegetables.
Oh, I guess these are for Sheena.
Vegetables?
Yeah.
But I ordered flowers.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry.
Sheena grabbed the veil as Ralphie ran by.
Got it.
But Ralphie didn't let go, and the veil ripped in half.
Oh,
No, me veil. I need to wear that for the wedding.
As Ralphie ran out of the room, he knocked over the table, and the 2 gold rings went flying into the air. They both landed on Ralphie's tail. Neither Olive nor Sheena saw that they had gone.
Now I have no bridesmaid, no veil, no flowers. And if I don't leave in 5 minutes, I'll be late for my own wedding.
Maybe I can help you, Sheena. Okay, you need a veil.
Olive looked around the room and spotted the neck curtains.
Those are perfect.
She took down one of the curtains and made Sheena a new veil.
Lovely.
Well, I suppose, but I still haven't got any flowers for my bouquet.
No flowers, a box of colourful vegetables. I think I may have an idea.
Olive cleverly bunched, twisted and arranged the vegetables into an amazing bouquet.
Beautiful.
Oh, but you still need a bridesmaid, Sheena.
Olive, you could be my bridesmaid.
Oh, thank you.
Olive really enjoyed the wedding ceremony.
Do you take each other to be man and wife?
I do. I do.
Do you have the rings?
Olive, the rings I gave you.
Where are they?
Oh, dear. I must have lost them. Sorry.
No rings? They're the most important thing.
Just then, Ralphie trotted in, wagging his tail.
Look, the rings are on Ralphie's tail. Here, boy.
Olive took the rings off Ralphie's tail. She put one ring on Sheena's finger and the other on the groom's.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
You may now kiss the bride.
Oh, thanks ever so for your help, Olive. You saved my wedding day.
No problem. I enjoyed being a bridesmaid.
Ralphie jumped up and licked Olive.
And I think Ralphie's enjoyed looking after the rings.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Kirk, actually, I've just been a bridesmaid at a wedding.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive found herself outside a trendy city coffee shop with a lively disco right next door. There were stylish and fashionable animals everywhere she looked.
Kirk, what a cool street.
Said Olive, who was wearing a colourful apron with steaming frothy coffees printed all over it. She was admiring the two huge model coffee beans on either side of the shop entrance when suddenly an anteater burst through the doors and out onto the street.
Mama Mocha, I don't believe it.
I'm Olive. Is everything okay?
No, it's not okay. I am Signora Don Mochaccino, the best coffee connoisseur in all of London town. My guests will be here any moment for my coffee shop's grand relaunch, and everything is going wrong.
What's the problem, Signore Don?
Not again.
But Kirk, who are they?
They are a group of naughty espresso mucho jumbo coffee beans. Olive, I need help to catch those crazy coffee beans before they destroy my new shop.
Olive and Don rushed into the shop to try and catch the jumping beans.
Come here.
But they didn't have much luck. The beans were always one jump ahead, knocking over racks of coffee jars, rows of cups, bags of sugar, everything.
Phew! These beans are seriously jumping!
With all the commotion, Olive tripped and tumbled into Don, sending both of them somersaulting out of the front door and crashing into the two huge model coffee beans.
Get me out of here!
Oh, how are we ever going to catch these coffee beans?
Olive noticed that the beans were copying Don as he hopped around trying to free himself. Then she spotted the dancers leaping around to the music in the next door disco.
Jumping coffee beans? A disco? I think I may have an idea.
Olive popped the remaining big model coffee bean over her and started to jump around with Don.
Keep jumping, Don, and follow me into the disco.
Okay, Olive.
Don followed Olive, jumping along into the disco, and the coffee beans followed them too, in a coffee conga line. Soon all the coffee beans were jumping around happily and safely inside the disco. Finally, back in the coffee shop, the chaos was over.
Perfecto. I will make you a cup of a very special coffee to say thank you for getting rid of those mucho jumbo coffee beans.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if I really like coffee.
Ah, but you have not tasted my coffee. Un momento.
Don expertly operated the various grinding, steaming, squirting and mixing devices on his coffee machine to create the perfect cup of coffee for Olive to drink.
I am calling this new coffee my Olive Cappuccino. It will be the latest coffee sensation.
Actually, this Olive Cappuccino does taste perfecto.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Kirk, actually, I helped inspire a perfecto cappuccino.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive found herself in a busy city street, surrounded by really tall buildings. There were stalls nearby, selling balloon animals and hot dogs to passers-by. Olive was wearing a yellow hard hat and was holding a box with 2 buttons on it.
Kirk, I wonder what this big button's for.
Press it. please.
Who said that?
The name's Clive. Now please press the button and get me down.
No problem, Clive.
No sooner had she pressed the big button than a window cleaner's platform, lined with buckets of water and brushes, clattered down the side of the nearest building to the ground. On it was a very scared-looking walrus.
Hello there. I'm Olive.
Hello. Am I down yet, Olive?
Down? I don't think you were ever really up.
Chuckled Olive as Clive joined her on the pavement.
Oh, I'm keeping my flippers firmly on the ground from now on. I'm no good at cleaning windows so high up.
Olive looked up at the tall building's very dirty windows.
So I could see Clive.
This isn't my usual job, you see. I normally sell balloon animals for my stall over there, but I promised the window cleaner I'd do his job when he's on holiday. Now it looks like I won't be able to keep my promise. Can you help me at all?
I suppose cleaning windows can't be that hard, can it?
Olive stepped onto the window cleaning platform. Clive pushed the button and the platform started to move up into the air, past one window, then another and another.
Oh, not so fast. It's getting a bit wobbly up here. Wow! Egg, get me down, Clive. Please.
Clive pushed the other button and soon Olive was safely back on the ground.
Oh, thanks for trying, Olive. I guess we'll never get those windows clean.
Olive looked over at Clive's balloon stall and then the one selling hot dogs.
Balloon animals, hot dog buns, buckets of water. I think I may have an idea.
Olive attached the buckets of water to balloon animals from Clive's stall. First an elephant, then a giraffe, a balloon fish and a whale, and even an ostrich. Soon there was a whole zoo floating up the side of the building, with buckets of soapy water dangling below them.
Quick, Clive, can you make me a huge catapult from some balloons?
One catapult coming up.
As Clive twisted the squeaky balloons into a catapult, Olive ran over to the hot dog stall.
One huge bag of hot dog buns, please.
There you go. Olive placed a hot dog bun into the balloon catapult, took aim and... ping! The bun flew through the air, past the dirty windows, before popping the balloon elephant. The bucket of soapy water spilt over the side of the tall building as it fell, washing the dirt from the windows to reveal the happy, waving people inside.
It worked.
Olive sent more buns catapulting up towards the balloon animals. Bang! Pop! Each bucket spilled their water and soon all the windows were sparkling clean.
Oh, thank you, Olive. I'm so glad to have kept the promise I made to my friend.
No problem, Clive. I never realised cleaning windows could be such fun.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Egg, actually, I helped a walrus wash windows.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive found herself on a huge lily pad in the middle of a pond. She was wearing a pointy hat and sparkly shoes. Nearby, some frogs were having a party.
Egg, is this a birthday party?
Oh no, it's no one's birthday. Us frogs just love to dance and party. You can join us if you like.
Yes, please. I love dancing. Almost as much as I love honey sandwiches, that is.
As Olive danced and ate her sandwich, she noticed a little frog sitting all on his own.
Hello, I'm Olive. What's your name?
Ribbit Patterson.
Why aren't you dancing? There's honey sandwiches too. And look, now everyone's catching flies.
I'm useless at catching flies. The other big frogs always laugh at me when I try.
Said Ribbit sadly.
Well, I won't laugh at you.
I couldn't even catch that fly over there, and it's really close.
Ribbit whipped out his tongue, only it was too short and he couldn't reach the fly.
Hey, Ribbit, you can learn, sunshine.
Called one of the bigger frogs. Olive and Ribbit ducked as the frog's massive tongue flew over their heads, caught the fly, then pulled it back into his mouth.
You see, I'll never catch flies like they can.
Olive looked over at the party. She spied some party blowers next to a big pot of honey on the table.
Party blowers, some honey. I think I may have an idea.
Olive dunked the party blower into the pot of sticky honey, then popped it into her beak like a rolled-up tongue.
Look, Olive.
Ribbit pointed to a fly sitting on a strange-looking plant. With all her might, Olive blew the sticky party blower. Only she missed, and it stuck to the strange plant instead.
Let me try,
Exclaimed Ribbit. But Olive had used too much honey, and the party blower was now stuck fast to her beak, as well as the plant.
It's stuck, it won't come off.
Suddenly, the plant began to rise out of the water.
Olive, why is the plant moving?
It wasn't a plant at all, but a very angry-looking crocodile. It swam off down the pond, dragging Olive with it.
Crocodile, it'll eat us all up.
Panicked Ribbit. Ribbit knew he had to do something, so he grabbed a spatula from one of the cakes and a party blower that he dipped in honey and waited for the crocodile to swim past him. Just as the crocodile got close, Ribbit blew the party blower as hard as he could and hit the crocodile. Ribbit was yanked off the lily pad and landed right on the crocodile's back.
Whoa, I've never surfed on a crocodile before.
Ribbit used the spatula to unstick Olive's party blower.
Oh, I'm free.
Jump, Olive.
They both leapt to safety, just as the crocodile snapped up behind them.
Oh, Ribbit, you were magnificent.
Magnificent? He's the bravest frog of the whole pond.
The big frogs lifted Ribbit onto their shoulders and declared him and Olive the party guests of honour.
Good catch, Ribbit. My turn. A little less honey.
But Olive missed and caught a cupcake instead.
I never did fancy flies much. Cupcakes are far more tasty.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Cupcake? Actually, I helped a frog to catch a crocodile.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was in a dark cave and could hear dripping water.
Hello?
Called Olive, and her voice echoed into the darkness.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
What a funny echo.
I'm not an echo, I'm a bat.
And I'm a bat too.
Olive looked to either side and could make out two little bats next to her.
We are the bats in hats.
Oh, do you mind me asking why you're called bats in hats when you're not wearing any hats?
Well, it's because we hang upside down and our hats keep falling off.
Upside down?
Olive suddenly realised that up was down and down was up. And she was in fact hanging from the top of a cave.
Oh dear, ostriches can't hang upside down.
Olive fell and landed with a plop in a big pile of hats. She stood up and straightened her feathers.
Oh, look at all these hats. One of them must be able to stay on.
No, they just keep falling off, Olive.
Well, let's give it a try, shall we?
Olive started picking up hats and popping them on the bats' heads, one after another. But they just kept falling off. She tried on woolly hats, top hats, cowboy hats, all types of hats. But they all fell off.
We told you, Olive. These hats just won't stay on.
Olive looked at the big pile of hats that they had just tried on and noticed that a thread of wool on one of the bobble hats was loose.
Bats that need hats, a loose thread. I think I may have an idea.
Olive pulled on the thread and got herself two nice long pieces. Then she took two of her favourite hats, held them on the bats' heads and used the thread to make little chin straps to hold them in place.
Perfect. Now you bats are in hats.
What? Oh dear.
Now we're wearing hats. They're too heavy, Olive. We can't hold on with our feet.
The bats tried and tried to cling onto the ceiling, but the hats were indeed just too heavy, and they fell down into the pile of hats.
Are you both okay?
Asked Olive.
Yes, we're fine.
But we will never be proper bats in hats.
Olive looked around the cave again and noticed some spiky rocks poking up from the ground and the hats with threads hanging from them.
Don't panic. I'm having another idea.
Olive picked up the two hats and tied either end to a tall, pointy rock, so the hats were hanging in the middle.
Now, if you fly up and cling to the ceiling, the hat should sit on your heads.
We'll give it a go.
So the bats flew up, clung to the ceiling, and kept trying to stretch down to put their heads into the hats. But they were just too far away. Eventually, they gave up, flopping down, exhausted, into the hats.
Oh dear, nothing I've tried seems to have worked.
Actually, Olive, these hats are really comfy. Yes, so warm.
The hats strung between the rocks were so comfortable, and the little bats were so worn out from all the excitement, they started drifting off to sleep.
Looks like you bats are finally in hats.
Thanks, Olive. We're going to have a nice long nap now.
Sweet dreams. Maybe from now on you should be called the bats in hats that take naps.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Greg, actually, I helped some bats with their hats.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive found herself in a room surrounded by old-fashioned furniture. She was holding a feather duster.
Oh, you must be the maid. I'm Cyril Bluth, inventor.
Hello, my name's Olive. This is a spectacular house.
Yes, it's owned by Lord and Lady Muckbrass. It's a wonderful place to work undisturbed. Speaking of which, don't let me disturb you with your cleaning.
Oh, it's going to be hard work with just this tiny duster.
Ah, maybe I can help you with my latest invention, the Bluth Automatic Dust Sucker.
Oh!
It's for cleaning up. I'll show you. Here, hold this.
Cyril gave Olive a long tube and hit a switch on the machine.
See? It sucks up all the dust and dirt.
But the dust sucker was too powerful and started sucking up everything in the room.
Cyril, turn it off, please!
Oh, dash it. I failed again. I'm going to take the dust sucker up to my attic to fix it.
And I think I'll stick to my feather duster for now.
Olive headed off to do some more dusting. In the library, she was surprised to find Lady Muckbrass sobbing.
Hello there, I'm Olive. What's wrong?
My necklace has been stolen, Olive.
Lord Muckbrass was also in the room, along with an elderly lady dressed in a tweed jacket.
We've asked the famous detective, Miss Marble, to investigate. Try not to disturb her while you're dusting, please.
Of course.
Olive carried on dusting while Miss Marble tucked into her cream tea.
So, Lady Muckbrass's necklace was taken from the top of the chest in her bedroom, but the door and windows were locked and the only key was with her ladyship.
Correct.
I shall now list the suspects. Lord Muckbrass, Lady Muckbrass, Cyril Bluth, Olive the maid, or perhaps someone unknown to us.
But how could anyone have got into the room?
As Miss Marble sneezed, she dropped her scone onto the carpet.
Oh, sorry, Miss Marble. It is a bit dusty.
Olive, could you clean that up, please?
Sorry, your ladyship. I don't have a dustpan and brush. Pity Cyril's not here with his new dust-sucking invention. It's perfect for sucking up crumbs.
Too right, it's perfect for sucking up anything.
A missing necklace. A powerful new cleaning machine. I think I may have an idea.
Olive led everyone into her ladyship's bedroom. She placed her duster onto the chest of drawers where Lady Muckbrass's necklace was last seen. Then picked up an old telephone and called Cyril in his attic room.
Hello, Cyril? Could you please switch on your invention?
Okay. The feather duster flew across the room, then up the chimney, followed by a cushion, a vase of flowers, and a painting off the wall.
Cyril, turn it off!
Olive, you've cracked it. Cyril must have been experimenting with his machine, but it was so powerful it sucked the necklace up the chimney.
Exactly, Miss Marble.
When Cyril emptied the dust sucker, there was Lady Muckbrass's precious necklace.
Oh, thank you for finding my necklace.
Yes, well done, Olive. I say, these machines are rather marvellous. I'd love to order one if you can make it less powerful, Cyril.
I'll get straight on it, ma'am.
Well, I must be off to catch the 4:50 from Paddington. Toodaloo.
Oh, thank you, Olive. That's my first order.
No problem, Cyril. I'm just glad we cleaned up that little crime wave.
They all laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Gek, actually, I solved the case of the missing necklace.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive found herself on a small boat in the middle of a large lake. All around her were purple hills covered with heather. Behind the wheel of the boat stood a man. He was peering into the water.
Hello there, I'm Olive. Are you looking for something?
Hey, Olive. Chuck McNichol. Yes, I sure am looking for something. Nessie.
What's Nessie?
The Loch Ness Monster. I've been sailing up and down Loch Ness all week, but it sure is hard to find Nessie.
Olive suddenly heard a low, rumbling, groaning sound.
Gek, what's that noise?
Oh, I need something to try and attract Nessie, you see, so I'm playing her whale sounds through these waterproof speakers.
Oh, so what have you seen so far?
2 fish, a turtle, and a medium-sized crab.
Oh, well, I could help you look for Nessie if you'd like.
Oh, thanks, but I've had enough searching for now, so I'm going back to my hotel to take a nap.
Oh, is that more whale songs?
No, that's Bobby McDonald. He owns the bagpipe shop. Hello there. Any luck finding Nessie? Afraid not, Bobby.
Your dog seems to like those bagpipes.
Aye, he loves them. In fact, all my pets love the sound of the pipes.
Olive liked the sound of the pipes too.
A Loch Ness monster that won't show its face. A musical instrument that animals love. I think I may have an idea. Chuck, no time to waste. We need to go back out onto the loch, please.
Oh, all right, Olive.
And Bobby, can you come with us? And bring your bagpipes, please.
Of course.
Okay, Bobby, play your pipes into this microphone. Then the sound will play out through the underwater speakers.
The sound of Bobby's bagpipes echoed out across Loch Ness and down into the water. Bobby played and played and played, but still there was no sign of Nessie.
Oh, I can't play any longer. I need to lie down.
We can't give up now. I'm going to have a try.
Olive took the pipes from Bobby and began to play. It didn't sound very good.
Oh, this won't work. Olive, that sounds awful.
But as Olive played, she was silhouetted against the setting sun. It made her look a very strange shape. Then something large and mysterious rose out of the water. It was Nessie.
Nessie, I can't believe it. Yippee! Oh, it truly is her.
Hello there.
Hello, Nessie. Glad you dropped by.
I need my eyes testing. I saw your shape there and I thought it was another Nessie.
Oh, I hope you're not too disappointed.
Oh, no. I've always loved the sound of the pipes.
Hey, Nessie, do you mind if I take a few snaps?
Well, normally I don't do pictures, but go right then. Just this once.
Say cheese.
Cheese! Oh, what of you two?
So they took lots of photos of Nessie, Olive, and Chuck. Finally, it was time for Nessie to leave.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. I know. Hey, how about one last tune on the pipes, Olive?
I don't think so, Chuck. I think it's high time I pipe down.
Oh, yeah.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Gek, actually, I helped find the Loch Ness monster.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.